All right, I'm here today with the president, Andy Kicinski. Hope I said that right.
Kicinski.
We're here at RES Water today. We're talking small businesses, which is the lifeblood of our area here. So Andy, I want to thank you for being a part of this with us today.
Sure.
Just start off real simple. Just tell me a little bit about your business, what you do, and what your passion is.
We're in the business of recycling water from frac plants, and that's the most sound environmental way of handling the wastewater that comes out of the ground. We were the first company to begin this model of one in, one out, where a truck brings in the wastewater from downhole, we treat it, and we take everything out of it except the salt, and then we put it back in the truck and they send it back to the next well.
Well, that's good. How long have you guys been open and doing this?
We actually did the very first well to discover the Marcellus with range, and that was in 2006. And we've been in this business for 8 years.
Wow, and you're growing.
And we're growing.
That's excellent to hear.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about the economic impact your business has had on this area?
Well, I can only tell you that we have 50 employees now, and we're expanding. We have 3 facilities, a 4th in the making, and we will employ another 20 there. We pay well. And so it's been quite an impact to the whole area.
Now you guys are headquartered locally here in Collier Township, is that right?
Correct. This is our corporate headquarters. We do engineering and design here.
And how many employees do you have here at this location?
About 8.
About 8? All right. As an entrepreneur myself, I know it's tough trying to navigate through all the different regulation and rules that are out there, along with some of the new taxes. Can you talk about how some of the regulations have impacted your business and how it's changed your course?
Well, I've been in the environmental business for 30 years, so nothing really surprises me on regulations, as I could say, because I was a consultant for many years. But the regulations are the standard solid waste regulations that I'm used to. They're not that granular, but they are. It is difficult to get a permit, and especially with the new procedures that they have called the general permit, you should be able to get it a lot easier.
All right. Well, with that said, I mean, I think I know your answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you think the government is making it easier for small business, or are we just getting in the way of how you guys conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis?
Well, the government needs to guard the environment, which we're on their side, and sometimes we don't feel that way. We feel like we're the enemy, and but we're really on their side. We want to do the same thing they do. So they have to. We like to abide by their rules, and we will. It just need a little better cooperation.
Absolutely. And just kind of building off of that, what types of things would you like to see changed in Harrisburg? Whether it's a regulatory thing or it's a tax issue, whatever the case may be, something that might help your business grow, make it easier to do business here in the Commonwealth.
Well, this may shock you, but I would actually like to see the PADEP enlarged. I'd like to see it expanded and given money to hire people that are competent and hold those people, and I think that would make life a lot easier. They are grossly understaffed, and they just need more people. And I'd like to see the money in the taxes go to that department.
Absolutely. And just to kind of build off a little bit more about the government taxes, the new governor has proposed his latest budget, increase in the sales tax, increase in the personal income tax as well. What are your thoughts on that? And if you could kind of summarize how that affects your business and how you guys operate.
Well, it affects our business because it affects the producer, and any new taxes is never really welcomed. I think the structure of the impact fees now and everything that they have in local townships and Collier and Washington County, I think are suitable. I think taxing the industry right at this moment is probably not a good idea, because we're in a depressed market right now.
All right, and going off of the Governor Wolf's proposed severance tax, that's what you're talking about in regards to. You're saying you prefer the impact fee stay in place as is with the
Correct. Because let the local communities that have actually been impacted by the industry receive the most money.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've been asking a lot of the other people that we've interviewed here is minimum wage seems to be in the headlines, and I know that you guys, minimum wage is not something that you guys are too concerned with, but what are your thoughts on raising the minimum wage? We've seen we've seen proposals from $10 an hour up to $15 an hour out in Seattle. What are your thoughts on that as a business owner?
Well, I think the minimum wage probably needs to be increased. I think $10 is probably good. Of course, we pay a lot more than $10 an hour, and our people have special skills, and so we're not really going to be impacted by that.
In southwestern Pennsylvania, we're no stranger to the Marcellus Shale. It's been here, the operation has been here. We talked a little bit about the severance tax earlier and a little bit about the impact fee and how Pennsylvania competes on a global scale. Can you kind of talk about that issue as far as being business friendly? One of the things that I hear on my end a lot is, where are these energy companies going to go if we pass this severance tax? But you can talk about that and also talk about, the downstream effect of all the ancillary businesses that support this industry.
If the producer is on tight margins in this sort of area, this Marcellus Shale area, they'll go elsewhere. They'll pull the rigs out of this state and go to North Dakota, or they'll go to Louisiana, or they'll even go back to Texas, until the market is revived. The severance tax will definitely be a burden on everyone within Pennsylvania, because that ends up to be a pass-through tax. It's going to be passed through to the consumer, and we'll each all pay the extra dollar per MCF that we're going to have to burn for gas in our house.
Right, and a lot of the proposal, the severance tax as proposed now, is almost twice as much as another state or the next closest state. So it really does have a big impact when you're looking at all the surrounding businesses, particularly yourself at RES Water. You're looking at restaurants, shopping centers. I mean, other businesses that have really popped up in the southwest part of the state, even into the central part, that could possibly be facing, a financial crisis of their own if this industry does get up and leave.
That is absolutely true, because there's so many supporting industries surrounding this business I'm just a small part of it, but there are many, many other businesses that have cropped up to support the industry and creating thousands and thousands of jobs.
Yeah, and that's something that we don't want to scare off. And the proposal has a lot of this money. It was supposed to go to education, but really in the proposal we haven't seen any specific language that moves it to education. As far as I know, it goes to the general fund, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of what he was trying to accomplish with this. And it really, from a property tax relief too, a lot of that actually goes to the Philadelphia eastern side of the state, and Southwest. I know a lot of the school districts here, because we're all involved with the schools here, actually see an increase in taxes. So
yeah, that is exactly right. And the producers want to keep the money local and keep the money away from unimpacted areas, we'll call them.
Absolutely, and I'm in full agreement to that. If we can keep the money here, we need to. That's where the money belongs.